Hello and welcome to In Conversation with VisionPlus Magazine. I have my guest, Mr. Baudouin Sériès. He is the Managing Director of Middle East and Africa, Zeiss Vision Care. Thanks for being with me, Ms. Baudouin. I would like to ask you some questions. I know you may answer. To start with, I will ask about the company focus and vision. I'll ask about that. To start, what is the broad vision of Zeiss for the Middle East region? That's one part of the question. And second is, and at an individual level, what would you want your legacy to be as CEO of Zeiss Vision Care, Middle East and Africa?
Well, it's a very large question, but I would like to enlarge it a little bit more. And I would like to first give you maybe the mission of what Zeiss is, or what drives us really at Zeiss. We as pioneer in scientific optics, we continue to challenge the limit of human imagination.
Okay.
With our passion for excellence, we want to bring value to our customers and inspire the world in new ways. So this is a fabulous mission statement for me as a Zeiss employee. And believe it or not, it is what drives us every day in this regional office as well. Now, if we put the focus a bit more on Zeiss Vision Care and the region as well, for us, our aspiration is to be the market leader in the segment of branded lenses. So this is really what our vision is. We want to be the market leader in the segment of branded lenses. And this is why we are here in this region, to also make this happen around us.
Oh, very nice to hear that.
But also very importantly for me personally, and therefore for the rest of the team, we want to be recognized as the main contributor for better eye care in the region. There are a lot of challenges in the region. I think we will speak about that later on.
Yeah.
And there is a lot that we feel we can contribute to. Not only feel, but we feel responsible for. So that is something that is very, very important for us. Yes, there is a leadership aspect to achieve, to be the leader in the market of branded lenses, but also have that strong responsibility in overall improving eye care services in the region.
How many years have been in this company, Baudouin?
Well, Zeiss has been, it's now 11 years that I've been working for Zeiss.
Okay.
I've started my career at Zeiss in Germany, initially for 4 years, where I got all this blue blood that is now in my veins.
Oh, that's not
but in Dubai now since 2014.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you get a good answer about for the challenges.
So you asked me about the legacy I would like to leave behind me, and I thank you for that question. It's a very personal question. First of all, I would like, Zeiss Vision Care Middle East to be a larger dot on the map for Zeiss, definitely. But as I said initially in my first answer, I would like to have significantly contributed to better optometry overall and optical services in the region, elevating standards, continuous training and education, and giving this industry the focus it deserves in the region. You were last year putting up the first Zeiss Vision Expo show to really show the entire region that yes, there is a need for a stronger regional industry, and I want to continue to contribute to that. Second thing which is important for me is to create long-lasting partnerships with customers.
With the customers, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And these partnerships, why are they so important? Well, because they should strengthen our partners, first of all, and our brand. A good illustration for that is the upcoming Zeiss Vision Centers that will happen in a few countries in the region very soon. And these are really a lighthouse for optical expertise, so something that we are very excited about. And the last thing which is important for me is that we open up new markets, especially today in Africa. We are actively opening up new markets. And what does this mean? Not only, yes, more revenue, but most importantly, it means more people having access to eye care, which is very important for us.
In your opinion, set the Middle East market apart from the global market. And the second part of it, have you faced any unique challenges for Zeiss in this region?
All right, well, Definitely Middle East is a part. First, from a cultural perspective. We, being a German company, settled here in the Middle East is already a challenge, because if you look at people around us, Middle East is a melting pot of cultures, right? Different nationalities from all around the world, and she's a great asset, so to say, because it brings skills and capabilities from everywhere in the world. So this is a great thing, but it's also sometimes a challenge. If, for instance, I look at our customer base, we have customers from very different parts of the world, although they are operating their business here. So we also need to have that flexibility and that understanding of these cultures, which is key in order to understand our customers. That is the first point that makes it unique. The second point for me, which is very relevant, is we speak a lot about RDEs, rapidly developing economies. Well, we are a RDE in this region, but for me, the rapidly is a very interesting term in this sentence, because if you look at the speed at which the leadership of these countries makes things happen, this is unique. We're not used to this in Europe, or at least in Europe, but I guess in a lot of other parts of the world. When the leadership comes with great initiatives, execution happens very fast. I mean, just look at the Expo 2020. Look at what they've managed to do in a time of crisis, of pandemic crisis. It's been an amazing success. And this was possible through a very strong leadership that people follow. So that is a very interesting way for me to look at these markets, because things change very fast. There are a lot of countries where new initiatives are happening in order to modernize the economy, to diversify maybe from a more oil-related economy towards different sectors. So things move very fast, and we as a result need to be very flexible to capture opportunities that can come out of this. Now for Zeiss, we've got, I would say, two challenges. The first one, and that's very operational, but the first one is we are not manufacturing lenses here in the region.
Okay.
At least in UAE. And this is a bit of a challenge, because all our competitors are actually producing here. But we have a global way of producing lenses. And what does that mean? That means, well, if we want to keep very high standards, we cannot produce everywhere. Now, as a result, consumers might be facing slightly longer delivery time for our products than some of our competitors. And this is, I feel today a challenge, although consumers understand that, well, for a Zeiss branded product, they are willing to wait a little bit more. But as I said, we live in a very fast and rapidly moving life, and therefore people sometimes simply do not want to wait. So this is the first challenge. The other challenge we have is, Zeiss being a very Zeiss being a European and a German company, we are very strict when it comes to regulatory affairs and regulations. And because the region that we cover is very vast, is very large, and every country has its own regulations, it sometimes takes us some time to get new products and new innovation into those markets, because the work that we need to do from a regulatory is very intense. But we stick to it, and this is how we ensure that whatever product we bring into the markets are well compliant, and that our customers and consumers can enjoy it without any problem.
Okay, good to hear all that. And now let us turn to another side of it. Now I am talking about the growth aspect. How would you rate the last 5 years of Zeiss in this region? The second part, often crises are known to present opportunities too, right? Here. Now, do you have any such experience in the course of the pandemic? This is my question to you.
Well, an exciting question, because for us, the last 5 years have been fabulous. We finished the last fiscal year, we closed our numbers with a 35% growth compared to pre-COVID, which is a great number for the region, obviously. And that growth came from different aspects. So first of all, we grew in all the markets. So there's not a single market where we did not grow, which is the first great thing. The second thing is we've managed in those time of crisis to create very strong partnerships with key customers that understood the need of differentiation and that took the bets to invest. We've had record sales of instrument sales, although we saw during COVID, customers will be a bit reluctant to invest, they don't know what is going to happen, but it was really the opposite. Mm-hmm. Opticians said, well, with COVID, traffic being less, competition being as intense, I need to differentiate. And therefore, I need to make investments in my practice to show to my consumers that they deliver something different. So this has also contributed significantly to the growth that we have had. One very important milestone we took 3 years ago. We decided to come direct in the UAE. What does that mean? Before we were dealing with distributors mostly, and we said, now that we're here, that we're solid, that we're confident, we have a good team, let's do it ourselves. Let's be closer to our customers. And we, after 3 years of running this UAE business now, we can proudly say we have about 20% market share in 3 years, which is really a good result for us, which we're very proud of. So again, a very strong element of that growth. But what I would like to say, back to your question about crisis and opportunities,
yes,
we've learned a lot during COVID. We had to adapt our way of working, that's clear, like everybody, but what we've learned is that by staying closer to our customers, although we could not physically be there, they could rely on us. And during this COVID time, we got way closer to our customers than what we did in the past. So this was a very, obviously, dramatic situation for the world, but a very good learning for us. And again, which contributed to an interesting growth. So far we are happy.
Good to hear all these things. Now let me come to the current affairs and highlights of those things. This is this question to you. Just when things seem to be getting back to normal after 2 years, the world is seeing new challenges with a possible war at the global scale. And also the supply chain disruption from China. How do these affect the optical lens business?
Well, that is not an easy question because we are really in the middle of this crisis. The logistic elements or the logistic crisis that we're seeing, especially out of Asia, is a very important one. Luckily for us as Zeiss today, we are not being dramatically impacted because, as I was saying previously, we have a global network of production, but it is true that it is a real challenge if we look at not only the fact that there is a very high peak of cases in China and therefore isolations, but borders being restricted with Hong Kong, for instance, freight flights being fully packed, no passenger flights from Asia to, or very few passenger flights from Asia to Europe. So this is all contributing a lot to a very important crisis. Luckily at Zeiss, we have a special task force that looks at those crisis elements on a daily basis. And the same way that they dealt with COVID, during which, by the way, not a single lens was not delivered to any of our customers, the same way that they looked at COVID, they're looking at this type of crisis to make sure that our customers all around the world get their products. But definitely a big challenge, knowing that for the industry as a whole, there's a lot of production, whether it is entire products or spare parts that are coming out of Asia. So this is something that should be looked at carefully. When it comes to the war between Ukraine and Russia, here again in the region, it's a bit early to say, but me personally, what I feel is the indirect result of that crisis being inflation. Mostly will have an impact on purchase power. We see it in Europe, right? If you look at your utility bills in Europe, they have gone through the roof. because of that crisis, and that results in a lower purchase power. So people having less money to go and buy their pair of glasses. So we are yet to see the impacts, but they will certainly be there.
Okay, now let me come to the last part of my questions. That's about your future plans. The last decade has been a significantly higher influence of technology in the optical lens business. Would I be right in saying that Zeiss could soon be more of a lens technology company rather than a lens manufacturing company? What do you say?
It's another great question, but here I feel I need to correct you because we are already a lens technology company. I think if you look at Zeiss in general, the definition, I mean, the way we describe Zeiss is an international leading technology enterprise operating in the field of optics and optoelectronics. So we're already there in the technology part. Yes, we manufacture lenses, but we manufacture lenses that are possible today through technology and innovation that has come from Zeiss. Give you a few lists for you to understand what I mean. The first asymmetric lens, the first coating, the first freeform lens, the first individual lens, the first company to have UV protection across its entire portfolio, or Dry Vision antivirus coating, and now gets to come our Zeiss Clearview portfolio and Zeiss PhotoFusion X. These are all very important, if not breakthrough, in technologies and innovations that shaped the market of the optical lenses. So very proudly I can say we're already there. And this is also a very good example of what technology is for us. You know, it's not only about the lens, but the instruments that we deliver to our customers that can enhance their business, enhance their consumer experience. And we have here the VisionFit 1000, which is able to create a full 3D avatar of your face and brings a lot of added value for opticians later on. So I think we're already there, but it's also what makes Zeiss so strong. And I think very importantly, maybe I should have started with this. Why are we so innovative? Well, I don't know if you know that, but Carl Zeiss is actually owned by the Carl Zeiss Foundation, right? So that means the Zeiss company is not listed on the stock exchange or is not privately held by some individuals. And the foundation was created after Carl Zeiss, Mr. Carl Zeiss, passed away. And that foundation has a certain set of rules. And one that is very important for me is that on an annual basis, the Zeiss Group should reinvest at least 10% of its group revenue into R&D to develop products that have a positive impact on mankind. And that's why, since the very beginning of the Zeiss company, with the first microscope being produced until today, there is that speed of innovation. And we will not stop. We're committing to deliver this innovation year after year, and you will hear in a month's time we're bringing 2 very strong new lens innovation in the market. So this will continue, hopefully, for long.
Mr. Baudouin, it was very nice talking to you, and I
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you.